players have taken the Merit Estate. We need the division. Careful, agents. That tanker can blow at any minute. Stop the lovebirds.
Whoa, this is so exciting. Oh my god. I mean, as an avid Division 1 fan, I'm so excited for Incursions coming back to Division 2.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about fire for this season, and this has been also the theme of the Incursion. So, should we explain what incursions are?
I think we should, yeah.
Yeah, because again, we keep talking about it, but not everybody was here during the days of Division 1. But incursions is basically, amongst the most challenging content that we have in the game. It's for groups of 4 players, and it's tough. It's going to be tougher than legendary missions. In some ways, potentially tougher than the raids, at least the raids as they are today, because people, speedrun those now in a few minutes. So the incursion is going to be, it's been built and balanced with, the top tier players in mind today, to try to offer a bit of a challenge. So it will take coordination, it will take the proper build, it will take strategy and communication for the players to actually beat all the different combats and challenges that this incursion is going to present.
And this one is quite different from what we had in Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
I do not really want to go into too many details, but I think that it's fair to say that it feels a bit more like a raid rather than the incursions that we had in Division 1.
Yeah, I think it's... So we wanted to have some difference between incursion and raid. It's not just a raid for 4 players. There's a bit of a difference where it's a bit more about your builds and your team composition, and sometimes a bit less about solving puzzles, which the raids have a lot. There are a few puzzles, and of course the boss mechanics definitely require a lot of strategy. But yeah, it's a bit more about, like, almost a bit more of an RPG challenge of having the builds to really face the lethality of the space. And then if I can give a comparison, because we had 4 incursions in Division 1, so it can mean very different things depending on which ones you played. But of course, our inspirations were more the later ones. So Dragon's Nest and Stolen Signal were the ones we took from, which were a bit lengthier, with more combats and actual mid-bosses and then final bosses. So that's what we built on when we say, inspired from incursions in Division 1. We definitely took the inspiration from the later ones, not the earlier ones.
Yeah, and of course we already mentioned the new exotic that is going to be exclusive for this specific incursion.
Yep.
That is called I cannot pronounce it for the life of me.
Ouroboros.
So this giant...
Just say Ouroboros.
Yeah, Ouroboros. Sorry, this giant snake. But this is a very cool exotic SMG. And it's not a guaranteed drop.
No.
You're gonna only have a 10% chance.
On a weekly basis.
Yeah. Yes.
So the way it works is it's a bit like the raid, but basically there's a chest that you can only open once a week. In that chest, you have 10% chances to get the Ouroboros. If you do not get it, well, you will have to wait for next week to have a chance to open it again and to get the Ouroboros. But the Ouroboros can also, I've said Ouroboros a lot, can also drop from the bosses you will have in the incursion, and that all the time, not on a weekly basis, at a lower rate, at 1%. So basically, once a week, you have increased chances to get it, but you can, farm the incursion if you want for a chance to get it, regardless of the weekly reset.
So the completion reward only available once a week, but you if you want to replay it, you will still have a 1% chance to drop it from the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as you've seen this time around, we are going against cleaners. These lovely birds here are called lovebirds.
Yes.
They're actually a couple, but the rest of their story is for you to discover.
Yeah, and one thing I would say on this incursion is like, similarly to what we've been doing a lot lately, is that there's a story behind it, and it has ties with the main story of our seasons. For those of you that are story nerds on Division 2, well, you will see that there are actually connections. We are going to the Murray estate, and Murray, of course, is a name that should ring a bell to people that have played a lot of Division 1 and 2. That's this fashion brand that you see everywhere. So this is the estate of the wealthy family that is behind that. And without giving spoilers, in this estate, you're going there to rescue the civilians. Now that the estate, which was turned into a settlement, has been taken over by the cleaners. So you're going there to rescue the civilians, among which is the leader of the settlement, and that leader is Mackenzie Murray, and she's the heir to the Murray fortune, in a way. And yeah, that's a character that we may learn more about in the future.
Super exciting. And of course, for all the speedrunners out there, we are gonna be giving social media call-outs to those of you who would be lucky enough to beat it first. I don't know, in the group of 4, 3, solo. It's probably impossible, but who knows?
Solo is gonna be tough. So you don't need 4 players. You can perfectly start the incursion with less players if you want to. Now you should know that solo is probably going to be hard just because of the mechanics of some of the fights in there. So I would recommend you at least have 2 players to go there.
Yeah, I think it's impossible on solo.
I mean,
probably people gonna find a way.
On paper, it's impossible, but the community can surprise us sometimes. So maybe they will find a way to beat it. But on paper, it should be impossible to defeat it solo. That's not a challenge. That's just mechanically. That's the way it is. But with 2 players, though, it's going to be really tough. But at least mechanically, there's nothing that should really prevent you from completing it with 2 players.
Yeah, the next thing we know is people tweeting about how they spend 24 hours trying to beat it.
I mean, you should definitely go with 4 players on your first tries.
Yeah. Please do not sacrifice sleep in order to beat Incursion. I know it's tempting. I know, believe me, but... But yeah, I'm super excited to see who's going to be able to beat it first, and which platform, which country, how fast, but...
Not too fast, please.
Not too fast, yeah.
We've put a lot of work into it. It would be nice if it lasts for a couple hours before someone beats it.
But yeah, as much as I don't want to move from the Incursion, there are still some things that we need to show you guys, and one of them...
Right, we wanted to give a shout out to the team, though.
Right, absolutely.
Have you been trying to avoid that?
Absolutely. No. That's my bad. Yeah, thank you, don't worry. So, a few things that it's totally my bad that I forgot to mention. This Incursion was made together with the Shanghai team.
Ubisoft Shanghai, yeah.
Yeah, and we want to give them a shout out. A few people that we worked with is Shan Jiawei, Song Xiaoqian, Gao Yunan, Zuki, Shantan Mo, and thank you so much for everything that you did. I think this is one of these exceptional pieces of content that I'm so happy to for myself personally and for the players to get your hands on. But also there was some help with a person that we know who worked with us before.
Yeah, so when we set out to do the Incursion, we wanted to make sure that we had consistency with the challenging content we've had in the past. So we actually reached out to Sébastien Lafouterie, Seb, or Sébastien. And the name might ring a bell to some people, but basically he was He works at Ubisoft Annecy, and he was game designer and then lead designer on the raids and some of the incursions in Division 1. So we wanted to make sure that we had his expertise carry over to the team in Shanghai. So he's been involved and helping us a lot. So hopefully this will show in the quality of this incursion. But again, amazing work by Shanghai.